Well, I just had a Septarian fly apart on me. That's one of the things that happens with Septarians sometimes. Had it all the way through, cut, polished, went to square off a base on it, and it flew apart. So I went back through the scraps pile, and I found another one that has potential. But I want to square off the base first so that I don't waste all that time. So then I'm just going to take a cut right across the bottom, see if I can get it to sit flat, and then maybe we'll polish this into something. Had a beautiful piece before, and now it's in pieces. Someday I will have a real trim saw, but this was cheap. I got this off basically Craigslist for not that much. Picked up a blade and adapter that fit, took off all the safety equipment, and then rigged up a water pump. So this is what I use for just quick trims. There is no danger of the blade cutting me. This is a diamond blade, but there is a danger of the blade pulling a finger underneath, in which case that would definitely remove a digit. So this is definitely a dangerous way to use this saw, but it is cheap. When I fire it up, I'm going to kill the audio because this thing is insanely loud. But all I'm going to do is take a quick cut off the bottom. So turn on water, and then turn on the saw. A little bit of grinding and that will sit flat. Okay, we've got a lot of material to remove from this thing. So I'm going to switch to an 80 grit and chew it up. I would normally wear my apron, but I was already kind of nasty and I'm going to take care of the lawn here in a few, so I'm just going to get wet. There's a little bit of a raised spot right here. I'd prefer to just cut it with the saw, but this is going to be so fragile that I'm afraid if I tried to saw that, it would just fly apart. So I'm going to sit here and spend some time with the 80 grit. Yep, I'm going to have to do a minor repair before I move on. Time to take a break anyway. All right, I got to do a minor repair on the belt sander. So we're going to change tactics a little bit here. Switch over to the wet angle grinder. Still have a lot of material I want to remove. I'm already soaking wet, so yeah, I'll go ahead and put my apron on. Now this is going to be tricky because this is a small stone. I'm going to have to hold this by hand. As you can see, it definitely removes material a lot faster. It's a lot rougher looking now. You can see all the scratches. I have some pits, but I don't want to work those out with such an aggressive disc because it'll just keep ripping holes. But I've got it generally smoothed out. This crown here should polish up nice. So we're going to shut her down with 50 for now. 300 is still pretty aggressive at this stage. I would much prefer doing this on the belt sander just because there's better control. But like I said, that needs repaired. So at these stages, I can actually watch the scratches disappear. At this point, I'm not going to go any further with the hand grinder just because it's too aggressive and everything. I've got much more control on the wet sander. So we're going to shut it down until I do that repair, which probably won't be for a while because I've got to travel, but we will finish this one. Back to continue working on the Freeform we were working on before. It's been over a week for me. Moments for y'all, but we're going to finish up this Freeform Septarian. I roughed it in with the hand grinder, so now I've got to clean it up a bit. Back with the belt sander, excuse me. Clean it up with the belt sander a bit. See if we can turn this into something pretty. Here we go. All right, looks pretty good, pretty uniform. Change this build out and we'll keep moving. We're going to jump up to a 220. I just have to make sure I get these scratches out of here before I move on. All right, we're going to go inspect this. If it looks pretty good, we'll move on to the next stage. The 220 is cutting a lot of material away. So we're going to switch to 400. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Yeah, even 400 will remove quite a bit of material, especially on this softer section. The aragonite, calcite. If you use a little lighter pressure on this stuff, it just eats away so easy. You can see it leaving streaks on 400 even with very, very light pressure. All right, we're going to dry this guy off and see what we're looking at here. All right, we're looking pretty good, so we're jumping on up to 600 here. Get that white calcite there. Probably camera's probably not picking it up, but it's got almost like some iridescence to it if you look at it at the right angle. All right, moving on. You can start to see we're on the dry spots. We're starting to get some polish. 800 will enhance that even more, which is what we have on now. This is starting to turn out pretty awesome. May or may not put this on my Etsy store. Might want to keep this one for myself. Last step is 1,000. Well, last step of grinding. This last one's kind of a polished step. Doesn't really remove any material. The rock's actually getting a little hard to hold on to because it's getting slick. It's getting all polished up. I could use gloves, but as I do this, I'm also feeling the stone in the earlier stages. Because in the early stages, you can feel the differences in the stone, especially when it's as soft as this one. Part of the trick with these freeforms is coverage, making sure I don't miss a spot. I think that's going to be it for the belts. Once again, using ZAM. Last step is to wash it up.